Hi, I'm Linz. Welcome to Becoming Everwell, a channel where we talk about the ongoing journey of becoming. On today's life learning episode for Midlife You, we're talking about unsaid thanks.
I make sense of life by writing about real everyday stuff that makes us who we are. Some of these snapshots are fun, some are more serious. Maybe they'll open up something in you too. Let's grow.
I discovered this delightfully quirky new Substacker, a crafter named Rosie. She self-describes as a failed housewife who makes badly knitted jumpers and sewing projects that really should not see the light of day. Her rebellion in presenting her unpolished concoctions in a highly curated online crafting world appeals to me. I like Rosie and her homemade lifestyle. In a recent post called, "Was This Your Vision, Rosie?" with the subtitle, "Well, of course not that blind," she exhibits a kooky cushion cover she'd knit for a friend. What I especially love is her explanation that while she knits, her thoughts mostly revolve around the intended receiver of the thing. And for her, knitting is a form of giving love and good thoughts, and I suspect a form of expressing gratitude too. Rosie's post transported me to Billy Collins' poem, "The Lanyard," one of my all-time favorite expressions of gratitude for a mom's devotion. And if you've never before read it, you need to stop everything right now and Google it. "The Lanyard" by Billy Collins, and listen to him read it aloud. The Lanyard expresses, like nothing else I've come across, how some thank yous are simply too big to grasp until much, much later in life. Until we're grown. Until we've experienced our own intimate knowing of what certain devotions mean. How we express our gratitude for those big thank yous has been on my mind. It's easy enough to write thank you notes for the tangible spots of gratitude, the birthday gift, the prepared meal, the generous donation. When there's been an obvious, tangible exchange from which we've gained something positive, most of us become aware that an invisible, ticking timeline has begun for writing that thank you note. Although, admittedly, I've fallen short with thank you notes more times than I'm comfortable admitting. So if the small, easier thank yous sometimes get away from us, I can't even imagine how many of the big, harder thank yous for the intangible stuff go unsaid. Like the thanks for that rare friendship that survives and thrives through hardship and change and distance and stages. Or the thanks for that hardworking parent who spent the bulk of adulthood trying to earn enough money to provide resources for their family's needs and comforts and education. Or the thanks for that nurturing parent who tucked in, read to, listened to, or hugged their child every possible night over the grand scope of a childhood or young adulthood. When there's no clear timeline to express our thanks, are we even thinking to do it? Sometimes the devotions of others are so big that they actually feel ordinary. We can easily get used to the parent who consistently shows up. And it also seems like these big expressions of gratitude are typically reserved for funerals, which makes sense. Sometimes we can't realize the depths of our gratitude until something is gone. But it bums me out too. Because I wonder, what are we missing out on in our relationships by not going out of our way to thank others for their big, ordinary devotions? I remember feeling particularly moved at the funeral service of my friend's mom when her surviving husband of over 50 years articulated with such sincerity his gratitude that his wife had prepared with care 3 daily meals for him over the life of their marriage until she fell ill. It struck me as an atypical yet beautifully specific reference as he reflected on her legacy. I'm sure those meals were received with spoken thank yous and hopefully with reciprocal dishwashing on the daily, but from his matured vantage point of no longer having his wife by his side, he seemed newly able to understand and express his gratitude for the enormity of her devotion to him. I've come to believe that the grandness of an enduring devotion like hers deserves a separate kind of thanks, a deliberate, big picture kind of acknowledgement. Sometimes we simply don't have the perspective to know the depths of our gratitude, but when we do, we ought to lasso it and make it known. Because when we do, our connections strengthen, our love grows, and our kindness becomes contagious. But how do we do that? How do we normalize and incorporate expressions of thanks for the intangible, ordinary, and hugely valuable devotions? Well, I've got some ideas for you. So here goes. First one, share snippets of your gratitude journal. As a longtime fan of gratitude journaling, a practice that supports my overall wellness and lifts my spirits immensely, I sometimes wonder why I'm keeping all my yummy sentiments to myself, closed in a notebook that no one ever reads. Sentiments like this one that I wrote earlier this week. My dad got Wordle in 1 today. He's so pumped. His long-awaited bucket list item is satisfied. Seems silly, but I'm grateful that we text our Wordle scores to each other every day. Seeing his name pop up in my phone in the morning and cheering each other on reminds me that I've got this incredible dad in my corner. I'm 47 with an 81-year-old dad who's as funny, competitive, and awesome as he was when he was my age. It won't always be this way, but I'm grateful that today it's our normal. And I just wanted to share our text thread from that day because I just want to honor my dad in his getting Wordle in 1. He was in Maine at the time with some friends, and so that's why there's a lobster reference in this, but I'll read it to you. He wrote, "Stay tuned for an important message. Victory laps are being performed at Maine Retreat and lobsters jumping out of the ocean." I wrote, "Did you get it in 1? Bingo! What? Amazing, Dad. Congrats." And that is his proof. Wordle in 1. Best day ever. If you're already in the practice of journaling your gratitude, consider shifting to a digital journal for easy copying and pasting of the thanks that could warm someone else's heart. You could just pop it into a text message for them. If you've never before kept a gratitude journal, maybe this is your invitation to give it a try. Number 2, capture and share your fleeting good thoughts. When your mind rubs up against a long ago joy or thought about someone that makes you smile, grab your phone and record yourself talking about that flutter of gratitude. Then before you overthink it, send it to the intended receiver. I've done this a few times, and I assure you, the unassuming receiver will meet your gesture with joy. Alternatively, you could post the fleeting thought of love or appreciation and tag the one in mind. And these expressions need not be reserved for the birthday, the Mother's Day, the holiday, or the memorial. A random Tuesday is perfect. Number 3, keep stationery on your bedside table. I had a friend in high school who kept stationery on her bedside table and drafted a thank you note at the end of every day. Of course, she wasn't receiving gifts each day, so I imagine those notes touching on the intangible feelings of gratitude that lived in her heart. Number 4, gift memories. The perfect candle is surely a lovely gift, but consider mixing it up by writing a memory that you share with your loved one. Get into that memory's nitty-gritty and invite your loved one to take a ride through time and space and bask in the good energy and history that you share. 5, dip into your photos. Scroll back a few years with a simple swipe on your phone and look at photos that were taken on today's date of a past year. When you find a photo that ignites warmth in your chest, share it with the person who fits into your warm feelings. Express, if you can, what the photo meant to you then and what it means to you now. 6, write a love letter. Unless you want to save it all for the eulogy, get grand and gushy or keep it clean and simple, but put your feelings of gratitude on the page and deliver the letter. And finally, number 7, be like Rosie. Make something. Allow it to be lopsided and wonky, and think about the receiver while making it. And when you finally give them the thing, the knitted hat, the necklace, the collage, the vase, the painting, the playlist, Attach a little note that reads something like, "You matter to me. I thought of you the whole time that I made this for you." And share a few specific things you thought of while making it. My son has long loved making bracelets, and he's in his string bracelet making era. In fact, his fifth grade teacher tells me he's quite the trendsetter at recess these days. Kids migrate towards string colors and bracelet designs over football. And because he's still learning the craft, his bracelets tend toward tangling. But he just gifted me one. It made me think of what Rosie wrote, and perhaps I was on his mind while he made it. Although I'd bet I got the mostly mangled bracelet that he just wouldn't willingly tie onto his own wrist, if we're being honest. But just like young Collins in the lanyard, I get that a kid doesn't yet grasp his gratitude for his mom. He couldn't possibly grasp my devotion to him. My love for him probably, and luckily, feels too ordinary. Someday, though, much later in his life, I imagine he'll recognize a boulder of a feeling within, and he'll understand it to be gratitude for the profound connection that we've shared. And maybe he'll express it to me. Maybe he won't realize it until after I'm gone. But I like to imagine that his gratitude will live so snugly inside him that it will fuel him to devote himself to others, maybe to a community, maybe to a partner, maybe to a child of his own. Because I'm pretty sure that that's how it works. Gratitude begets gratitude. What I know for sure is that from here on out, I'll be on the hunt for all the unsaid thanks that float around my relationships so I can lasso them and make them known. Because what happens from there, the strengthened connections, the fuller love, and the contagious kindness, it's simply too valuable to miss out on. Thanks for being here today. I hope you go find someone who needs to hear your thanks. All of your likes, subscribes, shares, comments, they're valuable to me. I appreciate you. And I hope you'll check out my website, Lindsay Hurdy, where everything I offer is listed there. Click on Work with Lindsay, check out my legacy work offering. And my Forever Letter writing services is what I'm most excited about at the moment. So if you think you have a love letter in you, I'm your gal. Until next time.
Be sure to like and subscribe and click that bell to get alerts for new posts. I'd be ever grateful.